It's been a bit since I last touched on the subject, so here's some rapid fire about Sonic X Shadow Generations. Rail Canyon, cool! That's where he finds out about the androids! Kingdom Valley, oh, maybe Mephilus? Oh my god, he has wings!
You're now watching Vindo.
One of the big things last month was the Shadow panel at Anime Expo. Among other things, they showed off an absolutely incredible preview of the 3-part Dark Beginnings prologue. But I wanted to go over a few more interesting things from the panel. Really quick, I just wanted to go over this timeline that they showed off here because I've seen a lot of people being upset that Sonic 06 was left out, but Sonic Boom was on there. And I just wanted to go over the logic that I think they had. First of all, being that you can't just show every single appearance that he's made, but I think what they wanted to really show was games that involved Shadow's backstory, which will also play into the animation that they were advertising with this panel, as well as all the other times that Shadow has appeared in animation, so that's why we see Sonic X, Sonic Boom, Sonic Prime. And of course the IDW comics being on there because that is something written by Ian Flynn that involves Shadow, much like this Dark Beginnings prologue. They started the panel by saying,
"We're all here to learn more about Shadow today, right? Right? There's some things you might not know."
Which I arrogantly replied, "Try me." Just after this, they announced that Shadow was inspired by Spawn and other American anti-heroes, which is something I had actually never heard before. Damn, he got me! Interestingly, Iizuka, who's the head of Sonic Team, responded to the moderator when he asked about the influence of Vegeta on the character, and Iizuka claimed that Shadow was not inspired by Vegeta. But we've seen the concept art, Iizuka-san. You cannot lie to us. We know it's true.
It's not, though. It's not, though.
Speaking of concept art, they featured some concept sketches and touched a bit on the Terios concept, which was the stepping stone to developing Shadow into who he is. Thank God they didn't go with that design, but I think it's really neat that they're giving us a Terios skin for the game. Last year we got to play as Sonic's concept design in Sonic Superstars, and now we get to play as Shadow's concept design, Terios. Also, the name Terios apparently means nothing. To Iizuka anyway.
I have no idea.
Pretty cool. They also mentioned the red highlights on Shadow were inspired by Kabuki face paint, which I think has been mentioned before, but it's a really cool detail, and I think it's neat. Iizuka goes on to mention that Sonic X Shadow Generations was conceptualized as a way to properly introduce new fans to the character of Shadow before his appearance in Movie 3. A big focus is being put on Shadow's backstory, and I am so here for that. Kirk Thornton, the actor who's been voicing Shadow since 2010, even states that he's learned more recently than he has in the past decade working on the franchise, and that he wishes that he could have sat down with Iizuka sooner. You can tell that getting to work on this project has been a really exciting job for him, and he's been enjoying the chance to explore the more emotional aspects of the character. He also mentions that they had the opportunity to go back and re-record scenes that they felt needed new direction as the animation had been finished. This is a really exciting detail and shows that everyone involved here wants to get this done right and bring out the best product to us this fall. Stephanie Say, who is our new voice for Maria, goes on to talk about how she is focusing on the character's age and illness when it comes to her performance. I think this is a really, really awesome detail. Maria as a character hasn't had too much screen time because of, well, you know. But getting to explore this piece of the character is really exciting, and I can't wait to see how it comes to fruition. Stephanie also compares Maria and Shadow's relationship to when she was alone with her dog during lockdown, juxtaposing her dog's overprotective behavior with that of Shadow's, which is honestly the cutest thing ever. They picked the right person for the role here. The directors of the 3-part animation reiterate the focus on Shadow's emotional past and bringing this to life as accurately as possible. Kevin Ortiz especially going over the subtleties in the animation and their hope to authentically portray Shadow's abilities and grief. The panel then gets a little more unhinged as Kirk claims Shadow's favorite food would be a jalapeno popper with caviar, which is very cursed. But then Iizuka chimes in and adds black coffee, which is misheard by the moderator as broccoli. I love this new lore. Look at the pain that's on this man's face as he's asked why Shadow said that Sonic might be the ultimate life form. I love that Iizuka's just out here on the front lines, just giving whatever answer he can when us nerds ask him a really deep lore question. Why is the moon not blown in half anymore? Oh, because the moon rotated and now we see the not blown in half part. Why did Shadow ponder that Sonic might be the true ultimate life form? Because he was sleepy at the time, and then he forgot, and then he realized that he was actually the ultimate life form. Makes sense. Look at this poor man just sitting here shaking his head as Kirk and Stephanie joke about what Shadow and Maria might do to relax.
Iizuka's like, no.
Shadow is all business, he wouldn't do that. He likes black coffee, not jalapeno poppers. Alright, let's get to the real juicy stuff. The animation preview. Wow, this thing looks gorgeous. The camera work and mood conveyed simply with lighting and composition is really impressive. The quick flash that Shadow gets here when Maria grabs his hand is really interesting because we get a quick glimpse of the gun soldiers aiming their weapons at Maria. This leads me to speculate that either the Time Eater or Black Doom are making Shadow re-experience this. I've also seen people theorize that this is the work of Infinite, but hey, I doubt it. The way Shadow gently squeezes Maria's hand in reassurance, oh, it's so great. This shot of Shadow's forehead looks kind of silly, but this is shaping up to be the best animated short Sega has done. The performances we've gotten to hear from the actors so far are top notch, and yo, Emerl! I saw a lot of people being confused about Emerl's inclusion here, so let me set the record straight. Emerl is the main focus point of the Game Boy Advance exclusive game Sonic Battle, released in 2004. This is Emerl's only true game appearance, and since Sonic Battle has never been re-released or remastered, a lot of people have missed out on this character's really deep and expansive lore and how it relates to Shadow. Emerl is a Gizoid, an ancient robot that was found by Shadow's creator, Professor Gerald Robotnik. 50 years ago, Gerald brought the Gizoid with him to the Ark to research around the same time that he was working on Project Shadow. After an accident, the Gizoid awakens its ancient destructive capabilities and destroys many of the Ark's facilities. That is what it looks like we're seeing here in this animation. The Gizoid is eventually subdued and sealed away after Gerald's execution. Years later, and after the events of Shadow the Hedgehog, the Gizoid is reawakened and discarded by Eggman. Initially determined to destroy the Gizoid before it can collect all of the Chaos Emeralds and reach its full potential, Shadow slowly begins to understand and respect Emerl, eventually learning that they both share a link to Professor Gerald and Maria. Battle's story is super in-depth and interesting and is totally worth checking out even if you only watch a playthrough. But one thing is for certain, Emerl is a character with heavy ties to Shadow in the Ark, but when he was adapted for Sonic X, none of this backstory is present. I don't think it's a stretch to say more people know Emerl from his appearance in a very easily accessible TV show than from his one single game appearance on a portable console from over 20 years ago that has never been re-released. But I think it's really cool that Sega, Ian Flynn, and his writing team are embracing the deep lore of these characters for new generations to get to enjoy. Something I'm really excited for is that physical pre-orders of the game come with a copy of Professor Gerald's diaries, so we can now all read Gerald's full suite of research for ourselves alongside the game. I can't wait to see what this prologue animation has in store. This preview was absolutely stunning. And this was only just like a 2-minute preview. I mean, we have 3 full episodes of this coming out, and even the poster that they teased at the convention shows Rouge and Omega on there, so that's something cool to look forward to as well. But between the new Doom powers and the focus on Shadow's backstory, there is plenty to be excited for as a Shadow fan. What was your favorite part of the new animation? Did you learn something new from the panel? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like Shadow, be sure to subscribe. I'm running through every single story path in the game Shadow the Hedgehog, yes, all 326, over here and on my Twitch channel, so make sure you have the notification bell on to be notified when I go live. Thank you for watching this. I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna miss you. Take care.
Sounds. You're now watching Vindo. I gotta go fast, catch up, you been slow, your wind's low. Smell the burnt rubber on my midsole. Everything you do once, trust, we'll do it tenfold. You're now watching Vindo.